back to my channel. So today I wanted to make some cute creations out of clay for my new American Girl doll, Josefina. She's looking so beautiful right there. My grandma gifted me these little ceramic like pots and plates, and I thought it would be such a cute idea to make little like desserts and some savory Mexican foods out of clay and put them in here to look like a dish for my American Girl dolls. So I wanted to record the process and I hope you guys enjoy. So the supplies that you will be needing are some Sculpey Polymer Clay. You will also be needing a cookie cutter, an old toothbrush or some tin foil for texturing of the clay, at least 3 different colors to make the top part of the bread, a Polymer Clay tool of your choice, and some Sculpey Clay glaze to make your product shiny. So the first step you're going to want to do is grab some Polymer Clay, roll it into a ball, and flatten it out to make it look kind of like a dome shape, like so. Once you have a shape that you're satisfied with, use your toothbrush to add some texture like this. Do that all around until finished. Once you're satisfied with how your clay looks, we're going to go ahead and start the next process. This next part is optional, but I'm choosing to use some chalk pastel, the shade brown, and use this little old makeup brush and just basically make it look like it's been actually baked in the oven. I'm very slightly just going to take the brush and put some coloring on here. I don't want to make it look burned, just kind of give it a little bit of brownness. And you can kind of tell in the camera in the spots where I've added the coloring. And you can also do the same thing for the bottom if you'd like. The next step that I did was just roll out a piece of brown clay. Then I'm going to be taking my circle cookie cutter and just right in the middle place it down. Kind of wiggle it around to make it easier to take out. And then there it is. Excuse the mess on the background of the Polymer clay, but the next step you're going to want to do is grab your cookie cutter and just place it down like so. And cut out a piece just like this. You should be left with something like this. Keep repeating until you have no more of the circle of clay left. Once your pieces look like this, start putting it on top of your bread. Now the bread should look like this. Your next step is going to be to grab a tool that has either a flat end, or you could use the tool that I showed in the beginning, or even a small eye pin, because we're going to be making small little indents to look like the pieces of bread are spread out individually. Now your bread should look like this after adding in the indentations with your small clay tool. The next step could be you could either A, leave it like this, or B, to make some more texture, use the brush and once again go over the small pieces of brown. I wanted to show you all, here's a quick update of what they're looking like. I did make 4 of them and I started to make them a bit differently. So in the first one, I made small indents on the clay, but on the other ones, I cut them separately and placed them on like that so that they looked, I guess, more realistic. But I personally like both ways. You could do whichever one you prefer. So for this next tutorial, we're going to be making a paleta pailso, and if you don't know what that is, I'll insert a picture here. So these are all the materials you'll be needing for this project. Let's go ahead and get started. The very first step you're going to want to do is take your brown clay, roll it into a ball, and flatten it out to look like this. It should be still fairly thick because we're going to be sticking a toothpick inside in just a bit. The next step you're going to want to do is take a small piece of red clay and roll it out just like this. Once you're satisfied with your shape, make a U shape to turn into the smiley face. I'll show you. You should be left with something like this. The next step is going to be placing it at the very bottom of your brown piece of clay to make the bottom part of the smiley face. The next step you're going to want to do is take 2 small blue pieces of clay, roll them up into a ball, and then flatten them to make them look like eyes, something like this. The next step is going to be to take a small toothpick or a really thin wooden dowel if you have any. I don't, so for this we're going to be using toothpicks. And what you're going to want to do is cut off the top part and the bottom part of the toothpick to stick it in as the stick of the paleta. Now you should be left with something like this. This next part is optional, but I'm choosing to make it look like the dolls have taken a bite out of it, so I'm going to be making a bite mark using a cookie cutter. What you're going to want to do is just take the cookie cutter, take the very end of the cookie cutter, and make a slight mark on the side. So you're going to be left with something like this. To look like the dolls have taken a bite out of it. So I've made two different ones just to show you a comparison of what it looks like regularly and what it looks like if there's a bite taken out of it. Once it's baked in the oven, I'm going to be taking a piece of just some white paint to put it on the bite mark to make it look like the marshmallow that's inside. The next dessert that we're going to be making is one of my childhood favorite cookies. Everything here displayed is what you'll be needing for this project. So the next step you're going to want to do is just take a small piece of tan clay and make a square shape like this. If you have a cookie cutter that's in the shape of a square, it would be even more perfect. I don't, so I just decided to make more of a rounded off square because that's the look we're going for. Then you're going to want to take 2 small pieces of pink clay and 2 small pieces of white clay. And right now they're just shaped into a ball, but you're going to want to shape them into a dome shape and place them right on top of the tan clay. But before we do that, once again, I'm going to take my old toothbrush and just go ahead and start texturing it all over. And you can go ahead and make it look as if it was baked by using the chalk pastels, but once again, that part is optional. So I've already shaded mine and textured mine, and I'm left with something that looks like this. The next step is I already put my 4 circles into sort of a dome shape, and I'm going to be placing them in the exact order they're in right on top. Okay, now it looks like this. You're going to want to begin texturing these the same way we textured the bread with your toothbrush. Okay, so this is what it looks like now, and the very last step is going to be to take that small piece of red clay and place it on top in the middle. Now it's time to bake your Polymer Clay charms in the oven. What I've done is just take a cookie-shaped pan, put some aluminum foil, and put my creations on top. The oven is currently preheated to 275 degrees, and once it beeps, I can go ahead and insert them, and I'm going to leave them in there for about 15 minutes, and then we can take them out and begin putting the sprinkles, so like fake icing on top of the little paleta, and then also to make it look like coconut shavings on top of that one. Now for this next part, we're going to be needing our Mod Podge glitter and a small paintbrush. What you're going to want to do is put Mod Podge on the eyes and the mouth of both of the paletas and put Mod Podge on top of all the pink and white circles. And then after the Mod Podge is on, don't let it completely dry. Sprinkle on some glitter and put it on top of your creation. Okay, so now your creation should look something like this. It may look a little crazy right now because there's glitter in spots that the glitter shouldn't be in, but I'm going to wait till it's dry to let it kind of shake it off the glitter. Now for this is an empanada. I didn't make a tutorial for this because I thought this was fairly simple. I just folded over a piece of beige clay. But what I'm doing is taking some white craft paint and my old toothbrush. I'm going to dip the toothbrush in the white paint and I'm going to flick it like this to create a white pattern on top of the empanada. I'll show you. Now your empanada should look like this after you painted on top of it. So here are all of our Polymer Clay creations that we've created today. I really hope you all enjoyed this video. I had so much fun making everything. I absolutely love making stuff out of clay. It's one of my favorite creative crafts to do for my dolls because it always comes out so cute. I really appreciate you for clicking this video. I hope you learned how to make it, and I really hope that it came out just how you wanted. So thanks again, and I hope you guys stay tuned for another video. Bye!